Alright guys, we are now into the last game of the tournament, Fluffycon 2011, and I'm just going to take a step back here because my final game is against Rory with his Empire army. When I did my video about the participating armies in the tournament, I took you through the photos of the presentation and so forth. I actually skipped some photos there in an army that I wanted to include, and that was Rory's army. Ended up playing against him round 6. He's got Empire, and there's a number of remarkable things that I want to talk about. First of all, we're both have got the same sort of state-themed army of Altdorf, and our armies are very similar. We've both got 2 war machines. He's got a mortar, I've got the rocket battery, so his is more accurate and mine packs a bit more punch. We've both got a huge number of swordsmen. He's got them all compacted into a single unit. He's got some halberdiers instead of a unit of 20 in addition there. He's got great swords, whereas I've got flagellants. I've got a big unit of knights, so has he. He's got his warrior priest supporting the the great swords, whereas mine was supporting the knights. And he's got archers, whereas I've got handgunners in this case. Now, his army got a lower comp score than I did, and this will be the first game of the tournament where I was actually awarded a higher comp score than another player. And I'll go through the reasons why. In fact, we'll go to the next photo and you'll see his characters here. I actually touched his warrior priest on foot and actually broke the handle off it, so I was gluing it together while I was taking this photo. But he's got some items in his army, which I don't. I've got 1 charmed shield in my BSB, and that's it. His battle standard bearer's got armor which takes -1 to hit, glittering scales. His general's got a 1+ armor save and a 4+ sword save and a great weapon. And his warrior priest has got some protection as well. So with that in mind, his characters really outclass mine. He's got a level 2 with shadows as well as I do. His swordsman unit is combined into a single unit with a big lot of ranks of steadfast. Mine don't have that. He's got great swords, which are better in 8th edition than knights usually, although my knights have been working quite well for me. His knights are knights of the inner circle, so +1 strength. Mine are not. And his war machines, with the mortar, you may argue that the Hellstorm rocket battery is better for this tournament, but the thing is, he's got the level 2 mage, which can use the withering to subtract toughness from his guys, allowing him to actually fire the mortar onto them. Whereas my rocket battery is inevitably going to require 2s to wound if it hits anyway, so I can't really use that combination very effectively. So there you have it. He's got quite a tough army. Going to the next photo again, a bit more of an overview on it with a better view of the knights. And I'm up against him round 6. So we're going to go to the next photo and actually have a look at the layout. Now, the other remarkable thing about this game is that Rory actually told me that when he met me at the tournament that he'd actually been completely inspired to paint his army and enter the tournament and sort of become part of the scene purely because he was watching my YouTube videos, much in the same way that many of you guys are. So, hopefully there are more of you out there in New Zealand who are, packing away models in your cupboards which are unpainted, possibly primed and ready for tournament play, but you haven't bothered to yet. Rory did exactly that, and he actually painted his army up, got them together for the tournament. Brushed up on the rules, played some practice games, and wound up actually playing against the same guy that he'd been watching many times before. So I guess one advantage Rory has here is that he actually knows how I play and what army I've got. The final mission is the watchtower, except with one main difference: there is no watchtower. There's only a hill in the middle, and you don't get to deploy a unit on the hill to start with. You just have to capture it and have a ranked infantry unit, not cavalry or anything else, on the hill at the end of the game to gain +500 victory points. The tough thing here is that he's got a big unit of swordsmen in one group. I don't, so that's the unit which is really going to take the objective at the end of the game unless I can do something about it somehow. So with that in mind, I've spread my army out very widely in the hopes that I can actually sort of pick away at his 2 flanks and actually outmaneuver him, and then in turn 5 or 6 flank his big unit with a couple of mine and beat him that way. So that's the goal here, and hopefully I can actually get a couple of good rocket battery hits off on him to do that. Next image, you can see his side of the field. He's got his knights and his great swords on either side of the hill, really there to prevent me from completing my game plan, and I'm actually quite impressed that he's sort of spread his guys out and really got his units into good tactical situations. He's trying to find a good spot to send his skirmishing huntsman, but because I spread my units out so far, he didn't have a 12-inch opportunity to put them where he wanted to, so he ended up just putting them on the hill. Going to the next photo, you can see where his war machines are situated on his hill on the left flank. He's able to fire his cannon at my cannon, but I positioned my rocket battery behind the building in a strategic location where he can't actually blow that one away at the start, because I feel that during this game it's my rocket battery that's going to be more important than the cannon. My cannon, really, the only purpose of it is to fire back at his artillery and hopefully taking it out, which is why I've put it there. Next image, that's where his huntsmen are on the hill, ready to get in the way of my guys and just really provide him with opportunities to slow me down, provide speed bumps, and pick away at my pistoliers with his bows. Next image, Rory wins the first turn. He did finish deploying before I did by a margin of one single deployment, and I guess that was luck. I was forced to deploy my first unit first, and here he comes screaming out from behind the impassable hill here with his pistoliers, taking some shots at my knights from long range. Now I think on the one hand this is a fairly good move because it slows down this flank, but then on the other hand he can't really shoot at anything juicy and get any juicy kills with his pistoliers this round, and it does allow me to charge him and to bring my guys forward and force his pistoliers to take a rally check to bring them back again. So not a bad move, but not an exceptionally good move either. It's just sort of one of those give or take sort of situations. Next image, it's my responding turn, and my pistoliers have been, my pistoliers in the middle have been shot at. My halberdiers have been shot at in the right-hand flank, so I'm just ducking for cover into the trees with them, also getting out of line of sight for the crossbows. One critical event in his turn, probably the most important act of his first turn, was to cast a withering on my swordsman, which I wasn't able to stop, and then he was able to get a direct hit on them with his mortar, killing about 20 swordsmen, or 16 swordsmen, also featuring my BSB in general. Luckily I passed the panic check, but that forced me to give up an entire block of 25 swordsmen, something I didn't really want to happen that earlier on, who have actually just moved back behind the hill to save the points, and I've transferred the characters from that unit to the other fresh unit that I had waiting. And you can see the building on the two chimneys. I've got a wizard and a handgunner, just to tell us that the wizard and the handgunner are actually in the handgunner unit inside the building there. So not a complete disaster, but a big setback for me to actually lose that rank unit of infantry straight away. I have charged his pistoliers with my flagellants, forcing him to flee, and that's allowed me to creep up a bit with my knights. Next photo shows you the left-hand flank. The pistoliers have moved away. I've taken the opportunity to snipe at them with my handgunners, reducing their number by 2, and my pistoliers in the centre of the field are just shooting back at his huntsman, killing a couple of them. And with that location, all he can really do is fire back with the huntsman, while in the background I'm obscured from sight. Again, just to remind you guys, as I said earlier, the hills are being played as infinitely high. They actually block line of sight completely, except for large targets. Next image, it's Rory's turns 2, and he's rallied his pistoliers and he's moved everything that he can onto or around the hill to fire at my pistoliers, but I managed to get a stroke of good luck here. I feel like it's almost payback for the good luck that he had destroying my swordsman. Rory unloaded a hail of arrows and bullets at my pistoliers without actually killing them. I managed to keep 2 of them alive after that little volley, so after some bad dice rolling, that came out on top, and the fortunate thing there is I've distracted him from doing anything else. You may notice he's kept his big unit of swordsmen